Hey Celine, I was just curious if you were thinking of coming to Lisa and I's wedding.
Richard, it's so lovely to hear from you. Why do I feel like you're about to continue bullying me as you have been the whole time, and I've known you though?
If you don't want me to bully you, then maybe you should stop always making yourself such an easy target, you old hag.
And there he goes. You didn't even get 2 messages in before the insults began to fly. Anyways, to answer your questions, yes, of course I was planning on being there for your wedding. I mean, my husband and the rest of my family is going to be there after all, so of course I would go as well. In fact, I dare say that I'm even looking forward to it, if you can believe that.
And you really think that you're good enough to be at the wedding with the rest of your family like you actually belong there?
That was almost a complete sentence. But I'm still not quite sure what you mean by that.
I mean that I am never ever going to think of you as family, got it? You might be my mother on paper, but I want you to know that you're nothing to me at all. And I don't ever want to hear you calling me your stepson, because I'm not going to be calling you my stepmother.
Richard, how many times have we had this same exact conversation? I know that I'm your stepmother and that you and I never really gotten along, but we've known each other for more than a decade now. I really think that we would have at least gotten beyond the point of always butting heads. Anyways, yes, I'm looking forward to being there at your wedding and celebrating with all our family. Is that the whole reason why you messaged me? To make sure that I was going to be there or not?
I'm asking the questions around here, and I don't like the tone of voice that you're taking with me right now.
Well, we're texting, so I'm not really sure just how much a tone there really is. But if anything, you're the one who's being so aggressive towards me right now. I know that you don't like me, but I don't get why you always have to treat me like that. Why can't you just be like every other mature adult and bottle up your feelings until you go talk to your therapist? Are you really trying to tell me that you're going to have a problem with me being at your wedding?
I don't just have a problem with it. Even the thought of you being there is humiliating. So if you want to save your stepson from being embarrassed on what's supposed to be the happiest day of his life, don't bother coming.
And just what is so embarrassing about having me there at your wedding, huh? Are you really going to be so ashamed of having your own stepmother there with you? Because I have been humiliated by you in public plenty of times. I'm still here, wanting to be there for you at your wedding.
What isn't embarrassing about you? You're like shame embodied. I want you to keep as far away from me as possible. And I'm going to use the wedding as my chance to cut you out of my life for good. Although I do wish that my dad would just grow a spine and finally divorce you. Then I could really be rid of you forever.
Right, well, as much as I appreciate your concern for the health of your father and Mai's marriage, we have no intention of divorcing anytime soon. I mean, we've been living together and married for other 10 years. And I've been in your home since you were in the middle school. So I really don't think you can count on anything changing anytime soon. So since nothing is going to change between your father and I, why don't you try growing up a little? I mean, do you even realize just how much I've put into raising you as my own child? I'm not asking you to love me, but at least show me the respect that someone who has done so much for you deserves.
Man, you really are delusional, you know that? What in the world makes you think that I owe you any respect at all? How dare you even try to tell me what to do? You really need to rethink your life if you think you're even worth respecting. Don't ever message me again, got it? I never want to hear from you again.
You were the one who messaged me in the first place, but if this is how you're going to act towards me over your wedding, then I can tell you no, that you will regret this. What is going on here? I was sure that I got here earlier than the wedding was even supposed to start.
I thought I told you that I didn't want you here, didn't I? I didn't even invite you in the first place, so why don't you just turn around and go home?
I don't even have a seat here. What is the meaning of this, Richard?
Are you really even that surprised? You already knew that you weren't invited, and yet you showed up anyways. If you're looking for someone to blame, why not try starting with yourself? I told you that I'll never think of you as my mom, so why do you think you would have a seat at my wedding?
I don't want you to think of me as your mother, and I never wanted that. It wasn't something you wanted. But the fact is that I'm still your father's wife, and you're excluding me from your wedding. You do realize that this is family event, Just as much as this is about you and Lisa, right? People are going to notice that I'm not here.
Oh please, you think anyone is even going to care at all? You're just a nuisance to everyone, and nobody thinks that you belong here. So just go back to where you came from, and never ever come back.
I really just don't know what to say. I dedicate 10 years of my life to be there for you. To cook your meals, drive you to sport events, helping you study and complete school projects, and this is how you pay me back? You didn't even save me a seat to be with my family on this big day? I literally don't have anything to say.
Well, for someone who doesn't have anything to say, you sure do text a lot. Now why don't you understand that you're not wanted here and just leave me alone? You're not my mom, you never will be, and I never want to see you again.
Okay, fine then, have it your way. I hope your wedding goes great.
Just shut up and leave already, you old bat. Nobody wants you here.
I already said that I'm going to leave. There's no need to be any more rude to me than you already have. Just know that this wedding isn't going to go the way you think it is, Richard.
And just what is that supposed to mean? You want me to have a good wedding? You could do that by getting lost.
I guess you didn't know this, but your father asked me to plan your wedding, from the venue all the way down to the cake. It was all me. I have no idea why I thought it was a good idea to take over planning your wedding, but I agreed to it.
What are you talking about? You're not serious about that, are you? Did you really plan my wedding?
That's right, I did. And it would be just horrible if all of that was to be cancelled at the last minute and you couldn't have your wedding, right? I think that would be really embarrassing for you and your wife.
I have no idea what you're talking about, you crazy old bat. You better start making sense right now.
I mean, if I had already paid for all of it, I suppose there would be no point in cancelling. But since I was going to put down the rest of the money once the wedding was done, that's certainly not gonna happen now.
You can't be serious, right? I thought it was Dad who paid for and planned everything.
Well, you were just wrong about that because it was all me. It always was. This was supposed to be your last big present from your parents for you, but you returned the gesture with an even bigger surprise by not saving a seat for your own stepmother.
And so what? What does that have to do with having the wedding?
It has to do with the wedding because I was the one who agreed to take on all the work of planning it. Did you really think that a wedding is planned by itself? You just pay money and it all comes together or something? Of course not. And it wasn't even your dad who paid for everything either. I paid for every little bit of your wedding.
Dad didn't even pay a cent for my wedding?
That's right. I thought that if I did this for you, that you might finally see that I've never wanted anything but what's best for you. I thought that we could finally all be a family maybe. I know that after 10 years, you'd think I would have learned my lesson, but I guess I'm just persistent. This whole time that we've known each other, I've wanted nothing but to get close to you and know you better, even if you never called me mom. I wanted to let you know that you could come to me with anything and that we were on the same side.
Well, I don't know about that sappy, touchy-feely nonsense, but my wedding is not going to be cancelled. I may not have known that you planned everything, but if you try to pull out of this now, I'll just ask my dad to pay what you owe.
I don't think that's going to go as well as you think, actually.
Are you kidding me? You think that Dad isn't going to want to help his son make sure his wedding goes off without a hitch?
If you really must know, your dad was opposed to us paying for everything in the first place anyways. He asked me to help you plan it, but paying for it was all my idea. He never wanted to do that for you.
You can't be serious about that, right?
So I'm afraid that if I choose not to pay, that it's all going to fall on you.
But I'm his son. Why wouldn't he want to pay for my wedding? I don't understand.
You are his son, but you're also 25 and your dad thinks it's high time you learn to take care of yourself. Like I said, this was supposed to be one last big present from the both of us, even it was all me. But I should have known better from such an ungrateful brat as you.
Don't you dare talk to me that way. It's my wedding day and you need to show some respect.
I'm not so sure for how much longer is it really going to be your wedding day. But if you can't see how taking this attitude with me is not going to help your case at all, then I guess that's on you. You've looked down on me and made fun of me for as long as I've known you and I've never had enough. I've shown you so much patience and all you've ever done is throw it back in my face.
Oh, just shut up already, you old annoying woman. I am sick of dealing with you. My wedding is going to happen, and that's final.
You say that all you want, but who's going to pay for it?
You are, of course. And if you don't, I'll talk to my dad and make him divorce you. What do you think about that, huh? You'll be left all alone because you thought you could tell me what to do. But no one tells me what to do.
Do you really think that your dad is going to divorce me over this? I already told you that he was against me paying for your wedding in the first place. Besides, you do know that your dad actually works for me, don't you?
What are you talking about? That can't be true. I refuse to believe it. You really think that I'll let you trick me into thinking my dad works for you? There's just no way. I mean, for starters, he's 5 years older than you.
And you really think that age means all that much at this point in our career? Besides, that also has nothing to do with the fact that I inherited this company from my father.
But wait, wouldn't that make you CEO?
That's right, I'm the CEO of my company. We've talked about this plenty of times already. You don't remember your dad talking about transferring to my company after we got married?
I remember Dad talking about switching jobs around when you guys got married, but I didn't realize it was because you were his boss. How did I not know any of this?
Probably because you're a rude, selfish person who doesn't have any interest in anything but yourself. But I hired your father because I knew him well, and my company just so happened to be looking for someone with his skills.
This can't be happening! You're lying! You have to be!
Well, we did talk about it a lot less once your dad started working for me. He does have his own pride, of course, but also, you never showed any interest anyways, so we just never really talked about it.
But I really had no idea. How did I have no idea?
I just said because you're selfish and you don't want to listen to anyone, just like you did right now in making me repeat myself.
Shut up! This isn't what I was asking, and you know it.
You're really still going to talk to me that way despite knowing who I am and that I paid for your wedding?
This is so much to take in all at once. I really had no clue.
Well, your ignorance doesn't constitute an emergency on my part, you know?
But I always thought that you worked for my dad, and now I find out it's the other way around.
Well, I'm afraid that it's been this way for the past 10 years, so maybe you try thanking me for all I've done for this family? Not that I'd really expect you to do that. Anyways, I think we're through here.
Through here? What is that supposed to mean?
It means that I don't want anything to do with you anymore, and you said that you don't want me, and you want me out of your life.
Well, I know that I said that before I knew all of this. You're going to forgive me for everything, right?
You're really asking me that now? Are you serious? I already told you that I was happy to go along with not talking to each other.
What do you mean?
Are you illiterate or something? What do you think that means? Why are you asking me to repeat myself for every little thing I say? You would think there was some kind of word count you were trying to hit for this conversation, but we both know that it's just ridiculous. Anyways, I guess that means something will have to be done about your real final present from me, the house I bought for you and Lisa.
You bought Lisa and I a house for our wedding?
There you go again, just repeating what I said.
But we're not even related. You're not even my real mom, but you bought me a house?
That's right, your father thought that I was going way too far with it, but I insisted on doing it anyway. But I just texted my real estate agent and told him to shut the whole deal down. Your father was right, you do need to learn how to provide yourself.
Wait, no, please! I'm your son! You can't do this to me!
I'm sorry, but you're no son of mine. You've made your thoughts on that quite really clear.
No, please! I had no idea what I was saying then. I didn't know the truth. If I did, then I would never have acted that way. Please, Mom, you have to forgive me. And pay for my wedding and give me the house. I'll be grateful to you forever, I swear.
You really just have no shame at all, do you? Do you know how pathetic you seem right now begging to me like that after the way you treated me?
Please, I'll arrange to have a seat for you at the wedding if you just come back.
I won't be going back, and I told your father that there wasn't a seat for me there, so he said that he wasn't going to be there either.
So Dad isn't even gonna come to my wedding?
What wedding, Richard? I heard from some relatives that no longer after that, the whole scene turned to pure chaos. The venue owner came over to speak to Richard about the final payments for all the wedding preparations, and he flew into a panic. That must have been around the time he started to spam my phone with texts begging me for help and to pay for his wedding and to give his house back. I got so fed up that I just blocked his number. While Richard was dealing with the fallout of his wedding that never was, his father and I began to pack out stuff in preparation to move out of the house and live somewhere new. Just the two of us.
Tomorrow's the big day of our wedding, right? Lol. I'm so looking forward to it.
That's right. Today we still have some preparations to get done before tomorrow. Where'd you end up running off to, Alice? Actually, where even are you right now?
I have a lot of personal things to get done before the wedding yet, lol. A lot of things, right? So, I'll be busy for the rest of the evening, lol.
You say you're busy, but what could be more important than helping me finish our preparations before the wedding tomorrow? Everyone is working hard right now to get the wedding you've dreamed of having ready.
I know that, Steven, lol. I just want to leave all of you guys to do the last of the preparations in case there's some sort of surprise ready tomorrow, lol.
What are you talking about? What kind of surprise do you think you'll get? Are you asking for a surprise from me, or rather that you'll be the one given said surprise?
Well, I'm not going to say anything else, lol. If I say anything now, it might ruin the point of the surprise in the first place, right?
Well, you just saying that there's going to be possibly a surprise sort of already gives it away for me.
I'm not sure what you're talking about.
Oh, I see what you're doing now. Never mind then. You'll be back by tonight, right?
Huh? Tomorrow's our wedding, right? Today's my final day to be a single woman, so I won't be seeing you again until tomorrow, lol.
Huh? Where are you going to end up staying the night at then? Are you heading back to your parents' house to stay?
That's the plan. This is our last time being single, you and I. So I think you should go out and have a little fun tonight before you and I are bound together for the rest of our lives, lol.
Tomorrow's going to be a very big day for me, so I don't have anything I want to do right now besides prepare for it. And I think it's best you and I get to sleep early so we're well rested for tomorrow. Really, I'd like it that you came back here to sleep tonight, but...
If I feel like it, I'll come back home, lol. But if not, I'll be seeing you tomorrow. I am so looking forward to the wedding, lol.
If you were really looking forward to the wedding as much as you say you are, then I think you'd be here with me helping with the final preparations. Well, it doesn't really matter now. See you later, Alice. I remember you! If you really wanted to have this wedding today, you should have come to me and begged for me to allow it. What are you talking about? What did you think you were doing coming to my wedding today and punching me square in the face? You should remember that I'm Alice's ex-boyfriend, right? You even have my contact information and everything on your phone. So why did you not get my approval before going through all of this? Approval? What kind of approval was I supposed to come and get from you? My approval to allow you to marry my ex-girlfriend? Everyone knows that the ex-boyfriend's approval is the most important thing to have before marrying their ex. Why did you not tell me about any of this before you had your wedding today? It's because of that I had to punch you in the jaw. Do you get me now? This all happened because of you! Alright, how's about you settle down a bit? Well, now that I got a good punch in on you, I'm feeling a lot better. I can even see that the wedding is going to be stopped because of this. But I think I'll let you marry Alice now. Why are you acting as though you have any say over what we do as a couple? And actually, why does it seem as though Alice is all happy about this? She was just as happy when I met with her yesterday. Yesterday? Her and I talked about all night about today, but actually, seeing me come to her wedding and dealing with you has really made her so happy. All because of what I've done. What are you even talking about, though? So you met with her yesterday and talked? Don't tell me that's the reason she's been so busy lately, was because she's been out seeing you? Recently, her and I have been seeing one another quite a lot. I think that she's been pretty nervous about getting married to you. I knew something was going on with her. But now that I've seen her laughing at the fact that her husband just got punched, I think she's really screwed in the head. Well, you should be happy now that I've approved of your wedding. I'm not happy about any of this, actually. You and her both laughing and being all light-spirited over me being assaulted is far from something that makes me happy. Are you guys seriously that messed up? Well, it's no use now. I can tell you're the kind of guy that won't budge no matter what sense I try to talk into you. I'm going to make sure that things are handled appropriately now because of what's happened.
Steven, where did you go? Why is the whole wedding being canceled now?
You're really going to ask me why? Are you telling me you really have no clue why I'd be getting canceled? Did you not even see what you were smiling about just a bit ago when it all unfolded right in front of your eyes?
Wait, well, you already know that I saw all of that go down. But there was no helping that situation, right?
No helping it? What are you saying? You're telling me there's no helping your ex-boyfriend from coming into our wedding and punching me in the face?
Nate told me there was nothing personal in it. He just said that he had to teach you a lesson for acting without talking to him first.
Alice, does this mean that you've been around him too long again, that you've become soft towards him again?
Huh? Lol, that's not at all what's going on. I think the only thing that's happened is that I'm just too attractive of a woman. But it doesn't matter now. You got his approval after having to take a small punch.
I knew it. That's why you were laughing at the sight of me getting punched, huh?
I wasn't laughing because it was funny or anything. I was more surprised by seeing something like that and it made me giggle. Lol. I wasn't able to comprehend all of it at first.
I saw you laughing and smile a lot harder than just some small giggle. And I remember you was saying to me like a complete idiot that this was my fault, so I shouldn't fight back.
An idiot? Who are you calling an idiot? I think that my ex had some attachment to me still, and he wasn't going to forgive you just yet for marrying me. But now that he got his one punch in you, he's calmed down, lol. Isn't that great?
I'm not going to forgive either of you for today.
Uh-huh.
I don't know how far you've gone with Nate recently, but I do know that you've been around him quite a bit. I'm leaving this wedding canceled.
Wait. You're actually canceling the whole thing? Why are you saying that?
And of course, I'm going to treat this as though I never even got married to you.
Huh? Steven?
And above all that, I'm going to be handing a victim's report after what's happened, so you two better get prepared. I'm never going to show you any forgiveness for today.
I'm sorry, Steven. Steven, just calm down a little.
Even if you finally started to let it all sink in, you're way too late now. You've already watched as your parents came to me and got on their hands and knees to apologize to me for today, right? What you had done today was so embarrassing that even your parents had to come to apologize for your behavior.
But having this whole wedding get canceled for it is going too far. I understand now that what happened to you was not okay whatsoever. I'm apologizing for what I did, so forgive me.
Forgive you? Huh? I can see that you're beginning to freak out a little, but you are too late to take back what you did to me before. I know now that you've been cheating on me this whole time. So there was no reason for this whole wedding in the first place.
Wait, you're actually saying that you don't want to be married to me? I already thought it was bad enough that you wanted to cancel this wedding, but you can't say that you don't love me anymore.
I know about how you and your ex have been in one another's arms this whole time, Alice. Of course, you can also blame this on what he done and said to me. I'm just glad that I've seen the whole picture now. Not only is this wedding over, but so is the marriage between us. A cheating woman and her violent ex make a great couple after all, so you both go enjoy life together as two of the worst people imaginable.
Don't say things like that. I had planned on ending things with him once you and I got married, so there was no harm in what I've been doing, right?
You think there was no harm in all of that? You're going to make me laugh. It doesn't matter if you meant to hurt me or not now. I was punched in the face right on stage, and you sat there as my bride laughing about it. I never thought that I could be as embarrassed as I was at my own wedding today, but...
I'm so sorry. I really wanted to tell you that I am so sorry. Why are you not able to understand that I feel bad for what happened? Is me sitting here crying for you to forgive me not good enough?
It's too late for you to come to me apologizing over all the pain you've put me through. Don't bother trying to talk to me ever again, okay? Not only am I not going to marry you, I'm not even going to talk or see you anymore. I'll also be getting a settlement from you, so get yourself ready for that. I'm sorry for what happened. I heard about what's happening now from Alice. I didn't mean for things to end up like this after a silly little punch. Really? What do you mean you didn't expect things to end up how they did after assaulting me? That had nothing to do with me actually wanting you both to end the wedding. I thought you both looked great together, actually. Well, why are things seriously ending up this way now? Huh? Why are you telling me all this now? Seems to me that you've noticed no issues with punching me right in the face in front of all the guests today. It's not that there weren't any issues with that. Rather, at the time, I may have been in a panic of sorts. And at the time, I was thinking of what I should do. Well, there was nothing you should have done then. Yet you came into two strangers' weddings and punched the groom in the face. Do you understand what will have to happen now because of that? I'm going to make you pay for your violent behavior. Well, about that, Stephen. Are you really planning to make me pay you back as well? You should know better than to do that to me when I was going to allow you both to get married. Man, the two of you are both full of excuses and talk now that I've gotten you both worked up. I'm sorry that you might have thought that none of what you did today was that bad, but to the victim, I can say that today was one of the worst days of my life. So stop trying to make it seem as though I don't have to get back at you for what happened when I was the one that literally took a punch to my face. I have a pretty badly swollen cheek now. Do you seriously not understand how inappropriate that was? I understand it was not the right choice, but I just thought as Alice's ex, I should do something about you. After all, that's one of the things that Alice really liked about me in the past. Come on now, Nate. You're acting like a character out of some stupid cartoon. Did you think that punching me in the face that you'd look like a hero today, coming to rescue her from me? Well, you should be happy now because of that. Because of your violence towards me, it looks like that you'll be able to get back together with her. Huh. That's not what I wanted from all this, though. What? Didn't she just tell you? We were planning on parting ways after the wedding, and recently I found myself another girl that turns out to be my type. I just wanted to make a cool scene at your wedding was all. Would you stop screwing around, Nate? You had punched me in the face, leaving my cheek all messed up, and now you're going to say crap like that? And you just assumed that after doing that, you could just run away from her when our wedding was over? Alright, can you tell me the real reason as for why you came up and punched me in the face today? You're saying it wasn't to steal Alice back from me, right? So, why did you do it? I didn't plan on any of that happening, actually. I didn't think that a punch was even hard enough to do any harm to you. I just felt a little bit of pain in my heart thinking that the woman I used to date would be getting married to you over me. My gosh. I don't understand what's even going on through your head, Nate. I just thought that by giving you a small punch, it would get the point across to the both of you and help me feel better about the wedding. I guess that wasn't the right choice, though, then. Whew. Sorry about that. Well, it's too late to apologize now. I have heard and seen enough from you two. I've already called the police, and they're coming to take care of things. And I'm going to get this settlement from the both of you. It's been decided already that you both cannot be forgiven for this. You and that witch are over with. And I think you'll also have to pay me for assaulting me. So be prepared to pay out a very large amount of money. What? What are you talking about? You already called the police? You have to be joking about that one, right? Unlike you and Alice, I'm not the kind of person to take pleasure in messing with others during such a serious time. Why would you ask me such a stupid question as a full-grown adult? I never make a joke about this. Why wouldn't I let the police know about how I was assaulted today? You punched me in the face, and now I'm in pain. Hey, wait a second! Call them and tell them to go away. If they come and arrest me, that will make its way to my job, and I'll be in big trouble there as well. I don't want anyone in the office knowing about this! Did you think that by punching me, there would be no consequences for your actions? I already told you what I was thinking when doing it. I just thought it would look cool and it would help me settle down. Well, that kind of thought is pretty messed up for any normal person to be thinking. You and Alice, you're both two peas in a pod. I don't need a wife that's going to laugh at me after getting punched in the face in front of all our guests. And after having her stab me in the back by cheating on me, I'm never forgiving her. Even if we weren't married yet, her and I were still engaged to one another. You are both going to have to pay up for acting like absolute idiots today. And this will make its way to your office. I'll make sure of it. Wait! Steven, I'm so very sorry for today. I can see now from the bottom of my heart that this was not okay of me. So can you please be considerate of me and call off the police? I know that I screwed up big time, so I'll never come around you and Alice ever again. No, if you want to see her still, then you go ahead. You both have nothing to do with me now. I'm at that point now where once I get my money from you two, I'm clearing any memories I've had of you both and moving on into another life. So go ahead and do whatever you want with her. However, I'm sure after this, your life is going to change as much as mine will. So be ready for her to say she doesn't want you around her anymore. Please, just forgive me. I didn't mean to cause any harm today. I really want you to, and so does Alice, really want you to make up with her. I'm not ever gonna go back to a witch like her. Now goodbye, you screwed up jerk. You're going to learn a great lesson in what happens to those that choose to be violent towards a complete stranger.
After that, the wedding was officially cancelled. The ex-boyfriend Nate was taken into custody by the police, and the news of what had happened went straight to his office, where he was fired on the spot. And that one woman that he had found ended up throwing him away because of that. This was all bound to happen since he had been cheating with Alice that whole time, but now Nate has a grudge against her for letting him be with her behind Steven's back. Steven was able to get a large amount of money from Alice in the settlement, as well as make sure she paid for the whole wedding. And now, Steven has blocked the both of them and is free of their crazy lives. However, both Nate and Alice tried to contact him still, not knowing that he can no longer receive anything they can send. Lol. What a great ending for Steven.
Whoa, Yolanda, what's your deal? Do you seriously just have no shame or something? I honestly want you to know, how can you live with yourself the way that you are? It is honestly just shocking to me and I don't understand it at all. Sorry, Brittany, but what exactly are you talking about? What exactly are you saying that I should be ashamed of? I'm not sure that I'm really following what you're trying to get at it. I mean, your whole existence. That's what you should be embarrassed about. Do you really not see what I'm talking about at all? Let's look at some face. You're a housewife who lives with people she's not related to and just leeches off their goodwill. How does it feel to have that to be your life? Aren't you ashamed of yourself? I really don't think that I could ever live with myself if that was my life. I mean, what kind of person would ever think that it's okay to live the way that you are? It really is just said, you know? Brittany, what in the world are you talking about? I seriously don't understand where you're getting off. First of all, I'm not just a housewife, as you said. I'm literally staying at home to take care of your mother who needs a live-in nurse. And the only reason that I'm doing this is because my husband, your brother, asked me to quit my job and do this. So do you still think that I should be embarrassed about what I do for a living? Oh, please, enough with those pathetic excuses. I don't even want to hear them from you. You really think that you can be a good person if you don't even have a job? All you do is laze around someone else's house while you use up all of your money? Even just thinking about the way you abuse my family like that just makes me sick. Abuse your family? Did you seriously just say that? How on earth am I being abusive at all? You have no idea what you're talking about. I'm talking about financial abuse. I know that you're just using up all my parents' money with the way that you're living, and you really thought that no one would notice. Or maybe you just thought that no one would care, but everyone knows that all you are is a parasite. It sounds to me like you're just deciding for yourself what I am and what I'm not. But I can assure you that I'm hardly a housewife, and if you think that my life is so easy, then why don't you try living here and taking care of your mom full-time? And then I can go out and get a job, and I promise you that I won't ever call you the kinds of things that you call me. You wish it was that simple as trading places. But unlike you, I'm someone with actual skills, and I have better things to do than waste my time at home. Skills? You really think that I'm doing this because I can't find a job or something? You seriously need to grow up if you think that's the case. I literally quit my career to move in and take care of your mom full-time, and you have the nerve to tell me that I'm not fit to work? Just where do you get off when saying that someone else does, huh? You have got a real chip on your shoulder. Oh, but I'm not the only one that's saying these things, you know. My brother feels exactly the same way as I do. I'm sure of it. Wait a second, you mean that even Dean feels this way? That's right, even your own husband thinks that you're utterly useless. How does it feel to know that, Yolanda? I bet it hurts, doesn't it? But if you really don't believe me, then why don't you go and try asking him yourself? Maybe I will go and do just that. Thank you very much. Hey Dean, are you there? You and I have some serious talking to do. I just heard from your sister that you and her both looked down on me behind my back. I know that Britt did it, but do you really think that too? She was telling me how embarrassing it was that I was a housewife and that you were embarrassed of me too. I tried telling her that you were the one that asked me to quit my job and do this in the first place, but she just wouldn't listen.
Wait, what? Is our stupid little slave really trying to ask if I ever had any faith in her to do anything else? I don't remember giving you permission to ask me these kinds of stupid questions. But if you must know, you're taking care of my mom because there's nothing else that you're good for.
Wait, what? Dean, you can't be serious about this, right? Did you honestly forget that you were the one that asked me to do this? I mean, I can't believe that your sister was right. You're both just horrible. But if you think that you can get away with treating me like this, then you must be an even bigger idiot than Britt.
The only idiot here is you stupid moron.
I don't understand what's gotten into you, Dean. You told me that if anyone asked questions about why I had quit my job, that you would explain I was doing this for your family. But instead, you just turn around and make fun of me alongside your sister? I mean, I'm literally taking care of your sick mother. Does that not mean anything to you either?
Oh, please. You think you're so amazing just because you're taking care of my dear old mom? What do you want? A medal or something?
I don't believe this. I literally can't believe that you're treating me this way. It's just absurd.
Well, my sister was dead on about you. All you do is hang around the house doing nothing while you pretend like you're so busy always looking after my mom. Meanwhile, all you're really doing is using up my family's money. Money that should be left for us, their kids. But instead, you just relax all day and don't have to worry about a thing.
I don't even know how to respond to that. I had no idea that you felt this way about me whatsoever. I mean, why did you even ask me to do this in the first place?
Of course I feel this way about you. I've always felt this way about you. But I don't see why it's worth getting upset about it when I'm only telling the truth. You aren't good enough to do anything but stay at home all day. And while you're doing that, you're just using up my parents' money and taking it easy.
Oh, really? You think that I'm not working at all? You think that this is so easy? Then why don't you try it and I'll go back to my job?
Get real. You couldn't find a job no matter how hard you tried. And unlike you, I have duties and responsibilities to my company. I can't just quit to take care of some old bat. That is obviously way more suited to you since there's really nothing else that you'd be good for anyways.
You're so far up your own butt. You can probably see the sunshine out of your mouth. You literally asked me to quit my job to take care of your mom. And I've been. And every single day comes with new challenges and difficulties, and I can't believe you're treating me like this.
Oh yeah, I'm sure it's so hard feeding my mom applesauce for lunch, or whatever it is that you really do all day. I'm sure that life is just so difficult for you being home all day. I mean, you don't even have a job. What do you actually do while the rest of us are out there in the real world working?
What is the matter with you, Dean? Are you trying to make me upset? Do you want a divorce or something? Is that what you're getting at here?
Well, I certainly wouldn't be opposed to getting one. I could tell you that much.
You're really serious about that, aren't you? Whoa, Whoa.
In fact, since all you're doing is eating away at Britt and I's inheritance, I don't really think that our family even needs you anymore. You're a useless woman, and even more, useless wife.
Oh, really? You think that I'm totally useless around the house? Why don't you go and ask your mom if she agrees with that?
And just why in the world do you think I would care about what that old bat has to say? I'm doing plenty for her right now with my salary. She doesn't need you, and she probably doesn't even realize the way that you've been taking advantage of her this whole time.
So you and your sister really think that I'm nothing better than a parasite on your family?
We don't think that. We know it. It's been obvious and you know it too. So quit playing dumb. You really think that you get to have the run of the house just because you nurse my mother? You're a housewife, and a useless one at that, and nothing more. And now that my sister and I are both on the same page about you, it's clear that I have no other choice at all but to divorce you.
And then if you really want to do this, let's do this then. I'll be happily to leave if it meant that I'll get rid of you and your sister.
Finally, we'll finally be free. All the years of having to support you and the months of having you lounge around the house, it's all finally going to end.
I don't even know how to start with that one. I mean, wow. You and your sister are just delusional, and I can't get out of this situation fast enough. Have a nice life. Or don't. I really don't care. I've already gotten the divorce papers ready here, and I've signed them. They'll be waiting for you on the table when you get back home.
Wait, you already have the divorce papers ready to go? Well, aren't you misprepared?
That's right, but now that this is happening, it can't happen fast enough. If you think I'm a parasite, then fine. I'll happily leave from where I'm not wanted, and it's clear that you're sick of having to support me since I'm so useless. So let's just end this whole thing and be done with each other forever.
Yolanda, are you there? Please, you have to pick up the phone. This is really, really serious. I'm begging you here.
What is it? What do you want? Whatever it is, you can just text it here. Because I don't have time to call, nor do I want to hear your voice.
Please, things are going really badly here. You have to come back and help us. You're the only person we can turn to.
Can you quit freaking out in your messages and just tell me what is it that you want? I mean, you've got some nerve even coming to ask me for help after the way that you've treated me. Not only did you basically force me to quit my job to take care of your mom, but then you and your sister both were constantly putting me down for doing the thing that you asked me to do. I'm sorry, but I really just don't want to say anything or do anything to do with you ever again. Actually, I'm not sorry about that at all.
No, please, you don't understand. Ever since you left, my mom has been asking my sister and I which one of us is going to take care of her now. Britt and I have been fighting ever since you left, and things are getting really bad here. You have to come back and help us.
Really? Is that what's happening? Well, I say it serves you two both right to have that to happen. But you were the ones who chased me out of the house, so I'm not going to come back. If you're really so upset about this though, you can always just pay for a live-in nurse to take care of your mom. Of course, I have no idea how you'll be able to afford something like that, but it is an idea. But you are out of your mind if you think that you can come back to me and ask me to go back to what I was doing, because that is simply not going to happen.
Well, the thing is that Britt tried doing the nursing for a little bit. She actually quit her job because she thought that it was going to be so easy, kind of like how you had it. But after 2 days of taking care of my mom, she had enough and was demanding that I do it instead. But I told her that there was no way I was going to do it, and that we should just look into a nursing service. But then my mom started complaining about how she only wanted someone she knew to be there taking care of her. And we don't know any nurses or people looking to do that kind of work, and people are getting so mad at each other. And my dad ended up throwing me out of the house over this. That's how bad things have gotten without you here to look after my mom.
So basically, it sounds to me like you're just paying for the mistake of throwing me out of the house. If you don't think any further ahead of what you all were doing to do once I was gone, then that is entirely on you, Dean. I mean, what's your plan for taking care of your mom if I wasn't there?
But you mean, you knew this was going to happen?
I figured that you probably put zero thought into this and weren't thinking at all when you said that you wanted a divorce. I was wondering if you already had someone in mind who could take care of your mom. But it's clear to me now that you have no idea what you're doing. But this is what you get for acting like such an idiot. You really thought everything was just going to fall into place after you chased me out of the house? You know that I never even wanted to quit my job, but you gave me no other choice. You guilted me into doing it because you told me you had nobody else you could ask to take care of your mom. And then you divorced me and chased me out of the house and you still haven't found anyone else?
Okay. I get it. I messed up, and I'm really sorry about that, okay? But can you please just come back? I need you here. We all need you here.
Well, I'm afraid that it's not quite simple, Dean.
What is that supposed to mean? What isn't that simple? Are you really not going to come back?
I mean that I have other things going on in my life and I don't have time to come up and clean your messes.
Okay, I'll be honest with you. My parents told me something really strange and I need you to come back here so we can fix all of this. My parents told me that they were going to leave everything in their will to you. Isn't that nuts? You have to come back here and tell them they're crazy.
Oh, that, yeah. I already knew all about that. Your dad reached out to me to let me know about it.
Wait, my dad already told you about all of this? Are you kidding me? So then, that means they were really serious about that. I don't believe it. How can they betray their own children like this to someone who isn't even part of the family?
I think I proved myself to be a greater part of the family to your parents in the time that I was there with your mom than you or your sister ever did.
But that still isn't fair. Why should you get what should rightfully be Britanized? I hate it. It doesn't make sense.
I don't know what you're asking that to me when the decision is entirely up to your dad. I didn't have anything to do with this at all.
Well, whatever. We can figure this out later. But you just need to come back here right away because there is a lot of work for you to do back home. The whole place is a mess without you.
And you think that I'm just going to come back running and clean up all your kisses for you? You can count me out.
What do you mean by that?
I mean that I'm going to ignore every single request that make of me. And you want to know why? It's because we're divorced. I'm not your wife. You're not my husband and I don't owe you anything.
Hold on a second. You can't be serious, right? Come on, you're just being totally ridiculous. I mean, I'll even let you live with us again.
You mean that you wanted me to come back and fix all your problems and you weren't even going to let me live there? Not that I would even want that in the first place. The answer is still no. I mean, the whole time that I was staying at home to take care of your mom and you and your sister put me down as leech. But now you realize that without me, the whole house and your lives are falling apart. You did this to yourself and I'm not going to help you out of this one.
Please, I'm really sorry. You're right. You're not a leech and we need you. I realize that now.
Well, I'm glad that you do, but it's far too late for me to do anything about it for you both right now. You and I are over. So you and Britt can just keep fighting over who should be taking care of your mom.
But we can't. At this rate, this is gonna tear us apart. Please, my dad is already so mad at me. And my mom is sad too. I'm sad. How could they do this to their own son? And all because you're not here? It isn't fair.
It sounds to me like you just can't face up to the consequences of your actions, Dean.
No, it's not that at all. But even my dad said I'm useless as a son.
Well, I have to say that I strongly agree with your dad on that one.
But it isn't true. I work so hard at my job every day. I'm not useless.
Dean, I can't remember the last time that you paid for anything in the house. You've been even nothing but selfish and your dad is right to put you down like that. You thought that I was a leech, but you've been the one expecting everyone else to do your work and pay for everything for you.
You don't really feel that way, do you? Because it isn't true and it's not fair. Please, what can I do to make you come back to us? I don't know how we're supposed to carry on at this rate.
You still haven't given him a single good reason why I should do anything for you or your family. I sacrificed so much for you, and I got nothing but insults and condescension in return. You threw me out of the house, and now the same thing is happening to you. And I say good. I don't know or care what it is that you'll think of doing next, but just leave me out of it.
But what about my inheritance? You can't just take that away from me. Hey, why aren't you responding? You can't just leave me like this. You have to help me.
After that, I heard that even Brittany was kicked out of the house and that their parents moved into a nursing home. They even invited me over to see it one day. And we were able to catch up a bit. I felt bad for leaving Dean's mom in that position, but I felt like I had already done enough. I told them both that they didn't need to give me anything and that they should save their money for the nursing home. As for Dean and Brittany, I didn't even bother to ask what they were up to because the less I know, the better. As for me, after moving out, I went to go and live with my own parents for a little bit. I explained to them what happened and they were happy to let me stay with them until I found a new job. It wasn't long after that it happened and I was able to move out. It took me some time to get used to living on my own and working full-time again, but it was the most fulfilling that I had done in months. Although it's also strange getting used to the single life, I have to say that I prefer it far more than being married to Dean.
Hey, you old hag! You need to break up with my brother this instant! Hello? Is that you, Sophia? You're obviously Mark's little sister then. I'm taking good care of Mark, though. I don't care! I'm saying that you need to break up with him, alright? I won't let you both get married. I can't believe that he's going to go through with this marriage to you. I need to wake him up from this nightmare. I don't understand what you're wanting to say, Sophia. Mark and I have already gotten married. What the heck? How is that possible? We're married now, so of course we're not going to break up. That makes you my new sister-in-law. I hope that we can get along from now on as sisters. Why would my brother choose you to marry? I don't get it. You're just a misunderstood, ugly piece of crap that's wanting his money. That's such a crude thing to say, don't you think? Did you forget how to be polite with other people or something? You're after his money, right? My brother works for a really good company and he excels at his job. Aren't you just wanting his money for your own future success because it's a sure thing? Well, thank you for telling me more about the company he works for. I'm in no way after my husband's money, so please don't worry. I don't believe a word of that. With the pompous attitude that you have, what else would you possibly say? I am totally against this marriage, so you need to break up. How much influence do you think you have in the decisions we make? We've already gotten married, and the ceremony itself will be in the weekend. Why don't you just approve of our marriage? That is what pleases your brother the most if you could do that. I will protect my brother at all costs from you. What do you mean, Sophia? You're older than my brother, aren't you? You're almost 10 years older than me. Why would such an old lady like you want to put her hands all over my brother for? Would you quit calling me old already? How is being a different age than your brother even related to how I feel about him? It's rather odd trying to explain this to my husband's sister. It's also strange to suddenly talk through a messaging app when we haven't been properly acquainted. How about we talk about it the next time we meet up together as a family? Maybe we can get along if we talk this out in person. Me and the wrinkly old piece of crap talking? Oh, please, save your breath. If you're going to talk like that, it seems a bit difficult to get along with someone who feels like this. I want my brother to have the best marriage, and what he chooses is an old hag who is ugly and looking to steal his money. My brother shouldn't be marrying such a woman, don't you agree? I have to keep telling you to reconsider your marriage, but you won't listen to me. You haven't been replying to my messages for a while. Are you there? Don't you think that's strange? Even if you're saying that it's strange, it seems like a problem between you and your brother. I'm not telling you to reply to my messages, Sophia. Can't you see a reason why Mark won't reply to you? Maybe it's because you're saying that he shouldn't be with me and saying horrible things about me? What the heck? There's no way that Mark would think like that about me when I'm just trying to protect him. Absolutely no way. Well, if you think so, then everything should be fine, right? If it were me, I don't know what I would do if my family were talking badly about my spouse. This conversation is becoming pointless, and I don't like it. Oh, so you're saying this is my fault? You can't sink any lower if you're going to blame me for everything. Right, okay. No matter what you say now, it's getting on my nerves. How about we have a slow and clear conversation next time we see each other in person? I'll talk to Mark about it so that we can all talk about this together like adults. I just want you to know that we are happy together. I hope this puts your mind at ease a little bit. Hi, sweetie. So, Sophia messaged me. She told me that she hadn't contacted you at all, but didn't you talk to her?
Yeah, I did. I got a load of messages from her. It's all these messages about how we shouldn't get married and to stop seeing each other and that sort of thing. I don't understand why she's sending me these types of messages. So I just didn't reply to her.
Oh, as I suspected. That sounds about right. It seems that she hates me.
She always used to follow me around. I definitely spoiled Sophia, as she was my baby sister, and she just wanted to be around her older brother. We're both almost in our 30s now. I didn't think it would go this far.
Sophia is 26, right? I think she's at the age where she should be leaving her brother to his own devices.
It might have been better to register our marriage without saying anything to her. Otherwise, she might get in our way of having a nice wedding ceremony. I'm really happy that we're married. I want to apologize about what Sophia's saying about you. Try to not let it get to you too much, okay?
It's not your fault, dear. I get it. It's all right. I'll try not to let what she said get to me.
I'm really sorry about her. She's a bit weird when it comes to me.
You have nothing to apologize for. Don't worry. I thought it would be nice if I could get along with Sophia. I'm hated more than I imagined, so I'm quite confused. I'm thinking about what I could do.
I'm just as surprised as you, love. I think you should just tell what you've done so far.
But I feel like she won't listen to me no matter what I say.
That's true, yeah. But it's my life, not Sophia's. She can't just decide things for me. If she keeps complaining about you and saying cruel things, we need to think of something to solve the Sophia issue.
I hope that we can all somehow talk to each other and understand our situations together, and then of course reconcile. I'll talk to her at family dinner after the wedding ceremony.
Thank you for considering all these things. I appreciate it.
Hey, it's for family. It's a pretty normal thing to do. Oh, thank God it's over for the both of you. Excuse me? What are you talking about? The wedding ceremony hasn't even started yet. What's over? What are you saying? You're both no longer husband and wife. You're a complete nobody to him now. I never have to look at your face ever again. What's that supposed to mean? I filed divorce papers for you both. You guys are already divorced now. I've freed my brother from your grasp. I can't believe how good of a job I did to manage that. What the heck? You filed divorce papers without our permission? I sure did. Oh well, I bet you're really frightened of me now, huh? I'm not even remotely afraid of you, you know. No matter who you are as a sister-in-law, you've overstepped the mark. If you've gone this far, there is no way of coming back from it. Whatever you say, stranger. It's more of the fact that I'm completely satisfied with the fact that I saved my precious older brother from you. Save? Are you kidding me? You wanted to keep your brother away from anything that makes him happy? That's not the reason. An ugly, money-seeking woman like you will never get close enough to my brother. I saved him from you. Would you quit it with all your cruel and hateful words? You're just bullying me now. Do you have any idea what you've just done? You're not a suitable match for my brother. Now that you're divorced from him, you're no longer to get involved with him or our family. Do you really think my brother would love an ugly, gold-digging woman like you? You're dreaming. Now that the divorce papers have been filed, the wedding ceremony will be canceled. Yes, I guess there's no problems then. Wow, such a strong, ugly lady. What if I did things on my own terms? If it was all to lead to a divorce, Mark would be the only one who has to deal with the trouble. Huh? What are you talking about, you ugly woman? It wouldn't be like that. My brother's the best of the best. Even if he divorced a woman like you, he would bounce back really quickly. He's such a popular guy that he would be able to get an even more attractive and intelligent woman. You do know that I was once your brother's boss, and he was the one working for me, not the other way around. I don't believe you. You were his boss. Yes, even though you believe me to be the gold digger, it's funny that you're misunderstanding the money situation. Don't you think that as a boss that I wouldn't have money? You? Betty? A boss? An ugly woman like you? I already explained this to you when we first met. I'm pretty sure that Mark did as well. You really do lack the ability to listen to people, Sophia. Does this mean that my brother will be fired because of the divorce? Actually, you know what? That's fine. My brother is super talented and can get a fancier job like that. He will no longer be troubled by you if you're not around. Oh, is that what you believe? What are you trying to say, Betty? Shouldn't you be the one to decide whether you believe it or not? I'm going to inform Mark of the situation. Mark never gets angry with me because I'm his cute little sister. Sometimes he might make a troubled face at me, but in the end, he always forgives me. That means it'll all be okay. Wow, you have a lot of confidence, Sophia. I admire you for that. Don't you think that only applies to when you were elementary school students? With Mark knowing the circumstances, he said that he would cut you off and be estranged from you. Excuse me? Cut off? That's right. We were going to pay for your college tuition, and we were planning to pay for future study abroad expenses, but I suppose we'll have to cancel that. Pay for what? My college expenses? As a result of you being out of employment and having gone to a private university being a burden on your parents, I thought it was a tough situation to be in. Over the past year, I paid for it. But from all of this, even after graduating from college, you haven't been looking for a job and you've been living at home for the past 2 years already. You've messed up big time. Do you have any idea of how much trouble you've caused your family? You've paid everything for me. Why would you do something like that? As Mark's little sister, you were like family to me and I made that decision to help you out. But now knowing that you've hated me this entire time, it's so awkward. I really thought that we could become friends someday, but as I kind of expected, the situation ended up like this. So it seems that whilst you'll be studying overseas, you'll be eating up all of your parents' money. You said that you filed the divorce papers, so of course I'll cancel the payments. But, Betty, does this mean I can't study overseas now? That's right, Sophia, unless you use your own money. Your parents, myself, or anyone else for that matter, don't intend on helping you out after what you've done. Betty, hang on a minute, okay? I had no idea up until now that you were doing this. Even though you said this all so suddenly, it's difficult for me to respond without knowing anything about it. If you were at college, I'd be forcing you to drop out since you won't be able to afford it. Such a pity. But I'll make sure that you repay me for what I paid for you, and you'll need to repay your parents for all the trouble you've caused them. If you want to study abroad, you need to go on your own expense. I'll never support you financially again after the things you've called me. Betty, don't be mad at me. I had no idea that this was the situation. You can't be that mad at me, surely. I'm not just mad. I'm completely dumbfounded by your behavior. I don't want anything to do with you anymore, so just do your best by yourself. With that, I bid you farewell, Sophia. Wait, what's with the goodbyes, Betty? What am I supposed to do now? Who knows? You can't come to the wedding ceremony. I don't think you're really part of the family anymore. Huh? You're still going to have a wedding ceremony? How? Today's Saturday, and I heard that the courthouse has a temporary window reception open, right? So I went there to confirm if divorce papers were filed in my name, and they were, so I canceled them, and now they're invalid. Well, that means everything's fine now. I didn't do anything wrong then. Don't you understand that it's not a problem that can be easily fixed? Huh? What do you mean it can't be fixed? You forged our divorce papers and submitted them, Sophia. I tried to call off the wedding, and as I expected, Mark is furious about it. I have no intention of dealing with you in the future. I hope that cutting you off will make all the difference. Wait, Betty, so I can no longer study overseas? And if I forged the papers, that means you're not divorced after all. Doesn't it mean that everything will be okay? It means nothing has changed, right? My perception of you has changed. I thought of you as family, Sophia, and now I just see you as my enemy. Mark also sees you that way as well. He's cutting you off too. Don't even think about showing yourself around us ever again. We cringe at the sight of you. Please, wait a minute, Betty. Let's talk this out. Can't we talk this out nice and calmly, like adults? You would have been if you were dealing with the Betty who was nice and calm a few hours ago. Do you think I would now? It's all over, Sophia. You made the mess. You lie in it. I'm sorry it came down to this, but you're nothing but a stranger to us now. Don't come anywhere near our wedding ceremony or else. Betty, I'm really sorry. Please accept my apology. I was so terrible to you. I realize that now. I know you and my brother are really mad at me, but please look into your hearts and forgive me. I can't live on my own if my family abandons me. I was really looking forward to studying overseas. Please let me go. We're family, right? Please, I'm on my knees here. Forgive me for what I've done. I'm not forgiving you for anything, you horrible little girl. You pushed your brother too far this time, and you're just being a complete nuisance to everybody. Why don't you go and cry on your own and let us live in peace, all right? Don't contact me again. Please, Betty, don't do this. Please don't leave things like this. Please don't abandon me. I have nowhere to go. It's too late, Sophia. Did you finally realize that you picked the wrong person to pick on? You're just a piece of crap, you horrible little girl. When it came down to the problem at hand, the divorce papers were discarded by Betty and Mark got married without any issues. Sophia came to the ceremony in tears, but she was not allowed inside. She was completely amazed by the actions of her brother and her family. It seems that she had no choice but to be at a loss after her brother and family cut her off and was isolated from them. Once Betty and Mark got married, they lived happily ever after. Sophia had no place to go, and the study abroad program she was looking forward to vanished. She was forced to pay back her tuition and started working part-time as a live-in babysitter. Right now, it seems like she's living alone without the support of her family. Her problems were self-inflicted, so there's no way of rescuing her from this fate.